Well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Just 3 days ago, I was proud to sign the Protect Illinois Communities Act banning the sale and distribution of assault weapons, high-capacity magazines, and rapid-fire switches. And here we are, once again, celebrating the signing of another piece of nation-leading legislation. Last summer, when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I promised you that Illinois would take action to protect our people, to remain a beacon of hope, an island of reproductive justice. Since that day, we've seen out-of-state patients who've been denied their rights in other states coming to Illinois for abortion care. Our clinics have been doing their best to serve the people seeking to exercise their rights, but they've been overwhelmed. The U.S. Supreme Court has forced women, especially those most marginalized, to flee their home states in search of safe health care. Here in Illinois, we know we have an obligation to support and protect reproductive freedom for our residents and those who seek safe haven. And we must protect our doctors and nurses too. The right to reproductive health care has been the law of the land in Illinois and across the nation, really, for 50 years. But pro-choice advocates and elected officials knew that the right wing would try to overturn Roe. So here in Illinois, we worked together to protect reproductive rights, and we succeeded when we signed the Reproductive Health Act in 2019. Last year, the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision created new challenges. So we went back to work, and the General Assembly passed House Bill 4664, a monumental new law that further protects patients and providers who seek and deliver legal and safe reproductive health care in Illinois. To care for our own residents and also meet the needs of patients coming from other states, we are expanding our pool of providers and eliminating barriers to access by allowing birth centers to provide all reproductive care, eliminating copays for reproductive health care medication like birth control, abortive medications, and gender-affirming therapies, all while expanding provider capacity by allowing qualified practice registered nurses or physician assistants to perform aspiration abortions, just like 20 other states do. Here in Illinois, we know that reproductive care is health care. A medical decision should be made between a patient and their healthcare provider, no one else. Every single person, regardless of gender, sexuality, race, and economic status, has the right to privacy and bodily autonomy. And when people come to Illinois to exercise those rights, they will be welcomed and protected. That's what this historic bill stands for. And I couldn't be more thankful for the hard work of Senator Selena Villanueva and Representative Kelly Cassidy, who worked around the clock with advocates and stakeholders and the public to get it right. We are only here making this the law of the land because of the steadfast advocacy of hundreds of thousands of Illinoisans, along with stakeholder partners. There are too many organizations to name, but some of them are here with us today, and they deserve a shout out. Thank you to the ACLU, to Brave Space Alliance, to the Abortion Fund, Chicago Abortion Fund, Equality Illinois, Lambda Legal, the Midwest Action Project, Personal PAC, and Planned Parenthood. And I'm sure I have left some out, but I want them all to know how important their advocacy has been in making this a reality. These groups, along with patients and providers across the state, made it clear that they expected us as public servants to ensure that we would enact the strongest possible protections. I ask you all to take a moment to reflect upon the war that is being waged on women's bodies by the zealots on the right, and how brave and unafraid all of you have been. You have proven that here in Illinois, we will never back down in the battle to protect reproductive justice. With that, it is my sincere pleasure to turn it over to one of the fiercest advocates I know, Senator Selena Villanueva.
Every C, every I. Every J.
Only so many initials.
I've seen him do it with twice.
Yeah.
That's really fun. Thank you. There we go.
Yay. Yes. Woo.
Happy to take any questions from members of the media. Yes, sir.
Move on to one of your other legislative triumphs this year, the assault weapons ban. You're facing some pushback from sheriffs around the state. A dozen or more have said they will not enforce the bill. Perhaps you and perhaps the Attorney General can comment on what can be done to protect the assault weapons ban and how you intend to address those sheriffs.
Well, let's be clear. They took an oath of office to enforce the laws of the state of Illinois, and they will do so. At this point, as you know, people need to register their existing weapons. We've outlawed the purchase, the sale of these assault weapons. And it's up to individuals who own weapons today to come forward. They have to file a paper with the state police, as you know. That's not something that requires the intervention of a sheriff, for example. And I think that they're doing it as a matter of political grandstanding. They hope to delay long enough to have this run through the court system. I'm confident that this is a constitutional law that we've signed into existence, and they'll find that out once it's gone through the process. But again, these are folks who are entrusted by the public to enforce the law. They don't get to choose which laws they enforce. They must enforce what we've written into the code, the General Assembly, signed by the governor, and they will do so. Happy to have the Attorney General if you have another comment to that.
Well, first of all, ditto. I, as Attorney General, I get to weigh into my legislators as to what our opinion is on pending legislation. Sheriffs have a sheriff's association. They have an opportunity to do the same. But once the legislature passes a legislation and the governor attaches his signature to it, it's the law of the land that they have the duty that they've sworn an oath to enforce. I will say also that as law enforcement agencies, there's overlap in jurisdiction as well. So if they don't do their jobs, there are other people available to do the job.
Thank you.
I have one more.
Yes, sir.
We've heard that you might be going to Davos for the conference there. If so, what do you plan to do to help the people of Illinois?
Well, I want to promote the state of Illinois. I was very pleased and honored to be invited to go to the World Economic Forum, just as I did last year, as you know, to COP26 to promote our Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. While I'm in Davos, I'll be meeting with national leaders here from the United States, but also international leaders, and promoting commerce for the state of Illinois, as well as the ideas that have really come forth from the state of Illinois that I think others may want to follow.
It's a conference made up of world leaders. You one day hope to be on that stage as perhaps the president of the United States.
We're the 5th largest state in the United States. We're already on the world stage.
Good answer, good answer.